My name is Karina Shika Kwame. I am from New Jersey, United States, and I'm currently working on water governance at University College of London. Water governance being who does what, how, and why to get water from the stream to the tap. And what I'm going to talk about today are three aspects of my work prior to doing research, my research, and then some of the lessons that we can learn going forward. So the three aspects that I was thinking about in deciding what to say today, and those three aspects are where water governance can help us understand issues in health, understand how we can cooperate as different actors in a society, and then what that can teach us about what it is to be part of a city. So first start is health. I was working in Rwanda prior to coming to UCL, and I was with a UN project looking at hygiene and sanitation in an area outside of one of the major cities in Rwanda. And even though the main task was to make sure that this group could have clean, safe drinking water, the actual technical solutions to do that were quite easy. We've perfected much of the technology for treating water and getting it to people's homes. Actually, the challenge there was in how you could navigate and work with the different groups involved. Now, all the players you'd imagine were there. You'd have your water company, you had your health officers, but you also had people like the mayor, you had legal representation, lawyers who were in charge of contracting, and that was actually the biggest snag, which brings me to the second part of the story, which is about cooperation. One of the things that was constantly brought up in meetings was that cooperation between these actors, as well as ones we don't really even know are having an impact on our work, was the biggest snag. And this is a snag and a problem we see in cities all over the world when it comes to dealing with water. Cities that have problems with water scarcity, cities that are very water rich. Across the board, this issue of cooperation is a consistent challenge. So the natural question is, who's really good at doing this, and what can we learn from them? So in trying to understand cooperation further, we look at a city across the world in Latin America called Medellin. Medellin is the second largest city of Colombia. It's a city in a valley surrounded by mountains, in which you have many different communities which are growing on the outskirts. Now, the reason why these cities are growing has to do with a long-running civil and political conflict. It's been going on for nearly 50 years. It also has a lot to do with the changing patterns, which are effects of issues around climate change. It also has to deal with the fact that there are many financial and legal problems that they're also trying to grapple with. But Medellin, long before their transformation in the 90s, was already figuring out how to do this as a process of getting water from streams to taps. And in this process, brings me to the third point, which is the story of what it means to be part of a city. Because in the case of Medellin, getting water to your house was not just a matter of getting a resource that you really need. It's a resource that actually marked your presence in the city as an inhabitant, as somebody who could be connected. And what this shows us is that it's not just water that actually is the link. It's the process by which you're getting water. And you see this in the day-to-day functions of how water is delivered in Medellin. For one, you have many young people who are trained as water coaches, and they go out into the different parts of the city and they explain and teach people how to save water, how to manage their finances so that they can pay. Of course, wrought with a lot of controversies, but at the same time, it's a view of seeing how this process actually teaches us what it means to be part of a city. And so in conclusion, the implications of this type of research can actually help us understand not only how you get water from your stream to your tap, which is a very important thing, but it also can show us what types of lessons we can learn about health, about cooperation, and how we narrate our responsibility as people who live in cities. Implications for other utilities like electricity or other public services like transport are areas where if we can just compare what in maybe Medellin people are doing in these different sectors, the opportunities to learn a lot are vast. So in closing, with health, cooperation, and part of a city, what it means to be part of a city being the lessons from Medellin, I'm looking forward to understanding more about what this might teach us beyond more than just a glass of water.